Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So this is a work session, but we've also have advertised for a special city council meeting to address an item this evening. And that item is the approval or discussion, I should say, the waiver request to a new marijuana business moratorium that we have. And there's a business that is caught in the middle. And I'll let Roger go ahead and give us the details on that.
Thank you. Back in November of last year, the council initiated a moratorium. You did so after review of the development code, in part had to do with marijuana business regulations on that. There was some concerns about that. You asked for a moratorium while you looked into that. Staff brought you additional information, and you later voted to extend that moratorium into later this year to allow time for the Planning Commission to review that. At the time, the council asked us on more than one occasion, do we have any pending applications? And we told you no, because we didn't have any that we knew of. But shortly after you extended the moratorium, I received an inquiry from one of the owners of Mr. Nice Guy, and the Sinclairs are here today. They contacted me because they had actually come in to get their business license and were told, no, there's a moratorium. Well, the background is that they actually came to us back in 2018 and requested a land use compatibility statement. That is required by OLCC, who regulates marijuana dispensaries. In order for them to be considered for a license, they have to come to us, get a statement that says where they want to go is allowable under our development code. And in 2018 it was. That changed, and I believe it changed by mistake, in 2019 when we underwent a development code update specifically to marijuana-related businesses, and what we were talking about there was grows, processors, manufacturers. You may recall in that time period, the state shared with us that they no longer, back to the same word, share, state gathered taxes because we weren't allowing those in the city. So this council approved an ordinance that regulated where they could be, and specifically those were regulated to the industrial zones and outside zones that had residential uses. Unfortunately, that was broadly applied to all marijuana businesses, including dispensaries. Thus, then that comes back full circle. That's when you started reviewing it and going, well, we need to take a look at that. Is that what we really want? So where we're at today is we have a business that applied for their LUCs in 2018 and then began pursuing their OLCC license, and unfortunately they didn't get that till almost recently. It's taken this long, and there was a time period where OLCC wasn't pursuing any more license, or they took a pause. They moved on in good faith trying to secure this. They actually had a location. They've been renting that location for a number of months in anticipation of opening their business and getting their license. Thus, they're here before you today to ask for a waiver from the current moratorium because they believe that they were pursuing it in good faith and were unaware of the pending moratorium. They're both here today if you want to ask questions, and their attorney is online as well, Logan.
Okay, so before the council starts asking questions, or we can, did you want to make any comments, either one of you or your attorney?
I know that...
If you do, you need to come to the mic and give us your name and residence, please. And you might want to pull the mic down and speak into it with masks. It's a little bit difficult to hear.
And Logan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Larry. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, in any event, we first came here in 2017, and we currently operate a dispensary at 852 South Broadway. And what we're doing is we rented in 2018, as Roger had said, the space at 275 across from your old restaurant. I'll talk to you about that later.
Okay.
In any case, so we're really just moving a business. We're not opening up a second business. We're going to just move, and that's what we thought we were doing, moving the business license effectively when we close down 852 and just move it to 275, which we're ready to do next week if we can. So that's the reason we were kind of surprised when we applied for the business license for that location.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to add anything, Logan?
Yes, thanks, Larry. For the record, my name is Logan Leichman. My address is 5200 South Macadam Avenue, Suite 500, Portland, Oregon 97239. I just wanted to add, with respect to the OLCC licensing part, and thank you, Mr. Craddock, for that introduction, that it wasn't so much that OLCC was not pursuing or not issuing new licenses, just that they had allowed their application queue to stack up so large that it just took 2 years, honestly, from the time of application, from the time that we got the Lux from the city of Coos Bay, until they were actually ready to issue the license in December 2020. And, you know, we kept up with extensions and whatever else we needed to submit to keep that application alive. And unfortunately, it just took OLCC that long to actually issue the license.
Okay. All right. So council, you have some questions and comments on this?
That seems pretty straightforward to me. Got stuck with the state's delays, and I'd be in favor of approving the waiver in this case.
Okay. Anyone else want to chime in or have any comments about this?
Mr. Mayor, it's Lucinda. So can we grandfather them in so that we don't have other businesses interested in the downtown corridor that we would offer this to?
Right.
So we have a license, just not at that location.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can transfer or not.
Yeah, so what's happened is we put a moratorium on and trying to make a decision on the downtown core area and some other areas that we're concerned about. And we were going to let the planning commission come back with some recommendations. In the meantime, it's been taking us a while to try to determine what the council wants to do and what direction we want to go. So we suggested the planning commission look at it and come back with some recommendations. So what happened is we decided to put a moratorium on anything being located in these areas until it was decided. And unfortunately, you've got caught in the middle. So our Councilor DeNovo wants to know if it can be grandfathered in to your location that we're considering. And Roger?
Yes, unfortunately, Nate cannot be here tonight, the city attorney, but I did anticipate that question would be asked. And he concurs that he believes it is, in essence, a grandfathering in.
Okay. So this will still be pending for the council, if I understand what you're stating, for us to determine and the planning commission come back with recommendation. We'll just be we'll be considering that this would be grandfathered in because they already applied and they just were waiting for an LCC approval.
Correct.
So that was my question, just for clarification. This has been in process.
For 2
and-
years, yeah.
For 2 years, and it's different from somebody that would be coming to us saying, I want to relocate. Maybe they're in a different location and they want to relocate to the downtown corridor. This has been in process
That's correct.
already.
And if I understand correctly, you've been paying rent at this location for this period of time, am I right?
That is correct.
Right.
You
So
guys
they've,
are still open. That's the reason we picked the location.
okay. Sorry about
But I
that.
really want the recipe for the minestrone soup.
Yeah, me
I mean,
too.
that's why I'm here.
Don't we all?
I'm sure that's extra.
Good luck with that.
So anyway, so they've been paying rent for this period of time in this location with the intent of moving there and applied for the OLCC license. And also, I think if you go through some of this, it shows in 2019, they applied to have this done. So is
And that was
correct?
prior to the moratorium. being-
Correct.
And I just needed that for clarification, because I can see why Counselor DeNovo may ask that question. That was my question as well. You know, I am concerned that we could be opening a door for some other things, but this has some specific things connected to it that make this process something before the moratorium was put in place.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so, Carmen, Phil, you have any questions or concerns?
Concur with everybody so far.
I don't. I think it's, I think it's I'm kind of like Drew, I think it's a straightforward question. If someone starts the process, and at the time they start the process, then it's legal and something that could possibly be approved, and then an action happens in the middle of that process, I don't think it's fair to them to stop the process when they, in good faith, started something that they were trying to do it the right way.
Okay?
I would add that the only difference would be is if someone went out and got a Lux from us and then never followed through with OLCC, or they didn't follow through with their extensions, which is not the case here. The case here is all the evidence shows that they followed through the process from the very beginning.
Right. Okay. All right, if there's no more comments or discussion, council, how would you like to proceed?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the waiver request.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the waiver request for the new marijuana business moratorium, to remove, never mind. Waiver request for the marijuana business. Any other comments? Questions? All right, hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Look forward to you opening up and moving. Thank you. All right.
Good luck.
Everyone.
I can't help you with the restaurant part, but oh well. All right. All right. Yes, you did. Thank you.
We'll just need to adjourn for a couple of minutes before going back into the work session.
All right, so we're going to adjourn the special city council meeting for this evening. And Logan, thank you also for attending. And then we'll come back and get into our regular work session.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Have a good night.